again for joining us. And we are really excited to see your presentation.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you for everyone joining to this session. Today I'm going to talk about super hype topic, and also it is such an honor for me to speak after than Martin because it's very controversial issue right now. Most of the people are just thinking that the Google is just getting died by AI, and some people says that the Google will implement something like ChatGPT very soon. So I just want to show another approach to all those questions, and then I have prepared a slide deck where you can see all the changes and the upcoming things for the feature of AI and how it will impact to your life directly. So today I'm going to talk about how to use GPT-3 to make your life easier, and also I'm going to discuss a little bit more about how it will impact to the feature of search engine optimization. That's the reason I have created some sort of workshop-like slide deck for you. And also, I have a special surprise at the end of the session for those joining to this session. So let me briefly talk a little bit about myself. I'm Yiğit. I'm just newly getting to 32 years in the world. So I'm living in Lisbon and Istanbul mixed. I'm the founder of Zeo, and now working as a founding product manager at Whoop, which is the next generation SEO analytics software. And also I have 100% of commitment of AI at the last 6 months, specifically for large language modules and the GPT APIs. But to be honest, I'm not a data scientist, and I'm not assuming that all the things I say is correct, but I can guarantee that maybe I can explain all those things for the style of understanding digital marketers, because I'm in this industry for more than 15 years. So instead of just talking about how neural networks works and keep you bored at the early morning, I will try to do things simpler and easier for you. So if you haven't heard about ChatGPT, you should question yourself because it's lots of people is just talking about this, and Twitter is just blowing up with lots of tweets about ChatGPT. So in this presentation, I will talk a little bit about it, and then explain real use cases, how you can use the GPT-based APIs to create a new product, make your life easier, maybe automate your SEO workflow. And also I will talk a little bit more about the generative AIs, which can be image generation, not only text generation, and also share some latest news with a language that you can understand without using any jargon of AI's complex side. So ChatGPT is so popular and people are so exciting, and that's the reason. The reason behind of this excitement is just comes from the capability of ChatGPT. Let me show some of the examples to you. This is the one of the most complex one because I'm starting with this to show you the capacity of ChatGPT. This is one of the tasks that I ask one of our developers' attention to write the code in Python. The program is so simple, getting a response from some computers by API, converting the string to English. If it's not English, sending to OpenAI and getting the response and translate back to Turkish maybe. So, and also this API may face with some errors and problems, and I'm saying how you can retry and what you need to do to cover edge cases. So I'm not just asking for anything small. It's a usable product level endpoint where I can directly integrate into our product. So let's check the initial message, what the data scientist called like prompt, which is the question that you ask to the AI. In here, I'm asking a very complex question, asking a human grade question, because it needs attention, it needs know-how to create such a computer program from scratch. So, and after then, I sent this request, and then you can see that the AI is just importing the libraries for me and starting the API service and creating variables for inserting the keys and just writing the code like a human. So it's retries for 10 times. If there is any rate limits, if API won't work for some reason, it will try again and again, but it's will be delayed retry, exponential backoff, yeah. And then it also implements the retry logic inside of here, and also help me to understand that how can I send these requests to the API. It's just an engineering level code. I know that some of them might call this as a spaghetti code, but it's just working. So I have tried with different responses, and I'm not coding actively. So, but by using this, I can do whatever I want, and also learning new concept is very possible, because if you just want to learn things by just breaking and trying to asking to someone, and also this is a great service because it is just giving you code, and then after that it's just like a teacher. You can ask that, can you please explain this code step by step to me, and this will just go through the every single function and helps you to understand that. In here I say that I don't know how to program, explain this code to me. So it understands my level of understanding programming, and also saying that, okay, right now we are importing the libraries, and then we are starting the fast API by defining an app object, and you need to just replace the empty string with your API keys, and this function is doing this, and which is amazing. So it's not something that we can even imagine. And to be honest, I expect to see something like this, but maybe later than 2030 or 2027, 28, not just in a few weeks. So it's interesting. So it's not only just doing the serious thing. One of my friend Fatih is just tweeted something very entertaining, and the AI can even do humor and better than most of the people, you know. So in here, the human is just asking AI to impersonate an aggressive Turkish taxi driver. For someone who lives in Turkey, knows this situation. As you can see in here, English is no good, Turkish good, English bad. It's just like a very natural conversation that you can have with someone, which is really interesting. So let's start from scratch and try to understand what's happening in AI. So, and then I'm pretty sure that if we get some questions, we can discuss more about ethics and philosophy and the future and how it will impact to our life in the era of AI. And so, actually, there is a very popular face we can see, which is Elon Musk, which was one of the founders of this foundation, OpenAI, but then left from this foundation somehow. Maybe you can ask the ChatGPT. I don't know it right now, but it has some Google-backed and Facebook-backed researchers inside the team. The OpenAI is surprisingly very small team, less than 200 people, but creating a great amount of innovation. Thankfully, to the partnership with Microsoft, they have $1 billion of computing resources, and they can train the models by using the GPUs and any other computing resources. So the real mission, which is defined by OpenAI, is just ensuring the artificial intelligence benefits to all of humanity. So there are lots of criticism about this part, because they're selling their services, how we can call this like open, but I don't agree with this, because the Google, Facebook, and many other internet giants were creating inspiring technologies in NLP area too, but none of them is just shared this technology with all the people. So even if OpenAI prefers to charging people, as the module is not free, it's not costing you maybe the engineering cost, but it's running on the GPU and it's something expensive. So that's why OpenAI is trying to provide free or cheap services to everyone, so that AI will not be under the monopoly of large tech giants. The OpenAI is not actually an NLP company. It's not just working on the text. It's also generating images and in the next maybe the videos. So this is one screenshot from DALL-E, and you can just prompt DALL-E with like maybe draw a teddy bear for me, which is mixing sparkling chemicals and as a mad scientist, as a 90s Saturday morning cartoon. It gets a style from last sentence, from the middle. It understands what they're doing in the beginning. It understands which things needs to evolve this verb. So it is very interesting. So in DALL-E, it's not only just generating image by text, but also creating the variations of a given image. So it's very interesting, because to catch up with the latest advancements of AI, I think that you should check all those APIs, even though if you don't need to use them. For example, in here you can see what kind of images you can generate by using OpenAI's DALL-E by just simple sentences. As you can see, when I hover on top of the image, you can directly see the prompt behind of it, and it's very inspiring. And also there is something cool which is called prompt engineering, is a thing right now, which is a job, and people are just writing the new prompts to generate images, generate texts, so lots of things and more. So let's just check with one example, taking an oil pastel drawing of a cat. So you can just click it and retry with the AI. And the interesting thing about AI, the AI outputs are totally unique for every time, because the seed is randomized. So if you just get this exactly same prompt and ask to the AI, you will get totally different, but still in the same context response. For example, I just remove the cat and change it with dog, but it is still working. Most of the people are just thinking that the ChatGPT is just copying and pasting the content from the web, but it's not working like this. It's trained by the web data, but it just creates their own sentences without just copying and pasting. In some cases, maybe it may be, but it depends on your prompt. So as I have said that OpenAI is not just an image company. So in addition to this, OpenAI has very interesting products, and this one is also open source, which is called Whisper. I wish to share the sound with you because it was just interesting, but I couldn't make them happen right now. But it is very it's very talking speedy in a fast manner. So and in the output, as you can see, the Whisper is just creating you a full sentence by respecting all the spelling, and also even the uppercase and lowercase situation is covered. So it's just even doing the formatting for you. And just go and search OpenAI Whisper, and you will just go to the OpenAI's website, and you will be shocked how accurate it could translate speech to text. So actually, right now I'm using this in my own computer. There is a GitHub repo which is called Whisper CPP. It helps you to install the Whisper inside of your computer. For example, when I'm just writing a very long email, instead of writing this, I'm just recording my voice and sending to the Whisper. It takes nearly 2 minutes to transcribe 1 minute audio, which is acceptable. If you have a powerful GPU, it will be maybe 4 to 5 times lesser, but I'm just using a regular MacBook. So the Whisper is so interesting project. You should definitely check it out. So, and the third thing is, of course, you know, GPT, which is a text generation API. And actually the GPT is not something new. It is launched nearly 3 years ago, but it wasn't just sounded that much big in the tech industry, because when you just check the initial GPT-2 module 3 years ago, I'm just showing you to help you to understand how things get changed in just 3 years and maybe 2 years. In GPT-3's latest iteration has just happened nearly 1.5 year ago. But I'm just asking GPT-2, the previous module, list some of the flowers that can be grown in Antarctica. It's an interesting question. I don't know how I think about it, but if you are just saying trigger autocomplete, it is just trying to write something, but it's not really related with the context because this one is not giving enough details according to the GPT-2 module. But things get changed, and I will do exactly same things with GPT-3, and also you will see that how things just get changed in 2 years. So even for the small completions like this, GPT-2 is trying to do its best, but it is so weak, I think. So, and then what's happening right now, and the Chat GPT, if you haven't used it, maybe just close this webinar and just open the OpenAI's ChatGPT, because it will blow your mind, which is so crazy. And also, the founder of OpenAI, the Sam Altman, said that they are just generating all those response for 1 cent per chat. I think so cheap, get the benefit of those APIs. So let me show some of the examples for you to understand how the GPT-3 is working. So you can do whatever you want at the ChatGPT, which is just the completion mode of OpenAI. So let's go and search OpenAI Playground, and you will get into this page after then registering to the OpenAI's website. And this page is help you the things where you can do, where you can't do with ChatGPT right now. For example, you are asking a question and taking an answer. It could be a programming code, it could be a conversation. You know what ChatGPT can do. If you don't know, you will learn in just few minutes. I'm not just talking about this, but in here in Playground, you can just use the different endpoints of OpenAI, which might be called as secret because not so many people is just using. For example, the first endpoint is insert. So in this endpoint, you are just choosing your module, and it's also helping you to define your cost. You can just control the creativity and maximum length of response, and then saying that, for example, this is just copied and pasted from Digital Zone website, but if I'm just adding the insert word in here and then run it, it is automatically trying to insert something in the middle of the sentence. So if I'm just changing in another area, also Marcus Tober was one of our speakers. It's just correct completion, and you can see that when I'm just adding insert, I'm getting a completion. For example, in here, I'm just deleting the number and sending it again, and it will be just getting changed with another number if I retry. So it's very interesting because it's useful for many use cases. If you just get into more into the AI thing, you will understand more and more. And also it helps you to revise your content. For example, this is the same string the same sentence that I get from Digital Zone website, and I broke the spelling, and then asking that please fix the spelling mistakes. So as you can see in here, it can also do the same thing for the code, and as you can see, all the problems are just fixed inside of this text. So if you are just working as an editor, just doing this thing, you should definitely get the benefit of it. But it's not only just fixing spelling or grammar mistakes. For example, I'm just trying to add my name inside of this context, and also it understands the names and adding my name to the last part, and then generates the text again. And also I'm maybe saying that don't mention the number, just use a text version of those numbers. So it is just understand what I need, and also just converting the number with the text version. You can do many other things that I even don't know. and it will make your AI vision better than more than anyone. So in this case, I would like to show you more interesting things too, because you cannot only limit it by this part. You can just train the module. In the Chat GPT, we don't have such a functionality like this, but you can just fine tune your message, fine tune your data, and create your own module. How can you do it? So, for example, you are just working for maybe government and also labeling the tweets like positive or negative. So, you are saying that overjoyed with the new iPhone is positive for me. And you can say that this thing is negative for me. This thing is positive. This thing is neutral. You are just creating a CSV file, which is very easy, and then uploading to the OpenAI by a terminal command. It's not that much complex. And then OpenAI understands your completion and then try to make estimations according to your inputs. So it's something that's very exciting. And also the another thing, the hidden gem of OpenAI is also embeddings. It's something that you can only do with, but in the embeddings module help, and you can in here we are seeing that product user scores something like Amazon reviews. So by importing this data and creating the embeddings of it, you can also generate another review and ask that which review is more similar with those given review. So, for example, if you are just trying to eliminate the plagiarism of reviews, so that maybe you can just do this as a search endpoint, you can cluster all those inputs, like maybe cluster the mobile phone related reviews in here, cluster the TV related reviews in here. So it is just returning you a matrix where you can just process easier with just a junior data scientist. So it's a great thing too. So just don't think about that the AI is just limited by ChatGPT, because most of the people learn the capability of AI by using the ChatGPT. The ChatGPT is actually using the same thing with GPT-3 as I have showed to you before, but you have more powerful features on the GPT-3 playground. So you should definitely take a look. ChatGPT, like I mentioned, it's free. The other APIs are just paid APIs, but they are very cheap. If you're not using in production with millions of users, you can just try with your developer, or you can just write your own code. And also in ChatGPT, it's the only free text generation endpoint you can use, which that much power. But you have some other alternatives. Some people ask me that, Yeet, why you are building a product on top of someone's technology, because if OpenAI decides to close down the API service, how you will survive from this crisis. Actually, I don't believe this kind of use cases, but for those who are thinking from the safety first approach, I can easily say that there are more alternatives, because the GPT-3 paper is open sourced, but the OpenAI engineers are just doing parameter fine tuning and the training process better than any other one. That's the reason why they are best, but you still have some alternatives. From AI21, which is the company behind of the popular tool Worktune, Cohere and Aleph Alpha is just direct European competitors of, and also Canadian competitors of OpenAI. So you can just go and play with their playground too. But the quality perspective, they are not very competitive with OpenAI. So yeah, that's question which comes to all of the minds after them playing with ChatGPT for half an hour. You say that, okay, this thing is cool, but what if it get my job? So is it something possible? We can discuss it, but I believe that it is not something will happen very soon, but we can just understand the pace of the technology, which is so stressful for most of the people. So let's see some of the questions and discuss a little bit about them. And also, let's discuss them on top of ChatGPT, because I just want you to share the AI vision and what kind of things that we can do with alternative endpoints and alternative products. But also, in addition to this, there is also a new thing called prompt engineering, which is very important for the future of AI. And also, if you spend more time at ChatGPT, you will understand the dynamics of how it understands the context. So you will ask better questions. So actually, the prompt engineers are the ones who ask the correct question, and also it will be a thing in the next year. So maybe if you mind to make a career shift, it might be an option for you. So let's see how it will impact to our life. So when it comes to this question, I'm always thinking that what industrial revolution and changed in the world. So when you see all those things, the blacksmiths and spinners and lighthouse keepers, and yeah, those people are just replaced with, some of them replaced with machines. But I'm pretty sure that what blacksmith is doing by machine, but still assisted by some human. So it means that it's kind of industrial revolution for knowledge workers like us. But I believe that it will just get changed, like something happened in the industrial revolution. So don't just take a stressful moment, because it's not just changing instantly, but just pay attention to follow everyone who are just tweeting about this, and just follow your Twitter timeline every day. If you just find an opportunity, just go with it. So it's very crucial. So to be honest, the most asked question to me from my friends, and what will be happen for the future of SEO industry, if the most of the tasks are maybe automated by AI, or the usage of Google may be changed. And I asked this question to the ChatGPT, and let's discuss the response of it. So the people thinks that the ChatGPT thinks that actually it's the people, because it's trained by the world's data. That's why I can say that. It's difficult to say exactly what will happen to the SEO industry if AI is able to automate many of its tasks. Okay, some cases we can get the political answers from ChatGPT, specifically for the things about the AI and the humanities feature. So and then if we just ask any specific questions, we can get more answers. But it says that yeah, could lead changes the way that SEO is done, and potentially requiring SEO professionals to learn new skills. So it's interesting, and also sarcastic answer. So, and also another thing is that I think it's the biggest threat to the search industry. What if the search engines answer the questions like chatbots, and after then using the chatbots for a few days, when I just curious about something, my mind is not just going and googling. At first, I'm saying that should I just ask this question to ChatGPT if it is something doesn't require the newly generated information, because the GPT modules is just trained until the end of 2021, maybe the middle of 2021. I'm not sure. And the chat GPT is still in the middle of pandemic, and don't know about maybe iPhone 14. But if I'm not just asking about the latest news, so I'm just going to the chat GPT and trying to get the information. So in this case, the Google has many innovations. We know that the Lambda is LAMDA is one of the modules for text generation, but they're privately using it. Might also generate that much qualified responses. And also, I'm pretty sure that Google is not just doing this directly because of the regulations of European Union, because those AI data is just trained by the humans' know-how, and they are not paying anything to the ones who trained this module because it's not something that you can calculate. So there are lots of ethical discussions behind of it. I'm pretty sure that Google is not doing this right now because of not involved into this case. But after then ChatGPT becomes that much popular, it's clear that Google needs to innovate and also maybe answer the questions. So what will happen in this case? And what will happen when the AI answers the question? Will people click those 10 blue links? So um, to be honest, AI said that yeah, this could lead an evolution in the way search engine operates. Yes, that's right. And the people just wants the quick answers, and then no one's just want to go a website and wait for a few seconds and trying to look for the information. Instead of this, they can just acquire the information they need and move on. So, and I ask that, and I think that it is the biggest threat. What will happen to click through rates of standard organic results in this case? And the AI thinks that the ChatGPT thinks that the CTR rates of standard organic results will decrease. So I think that it's just like uh, I'm pretty sure that everyone has just made at least one time the weather cast of their city, like Istanbul weather. So when you just search for it, you will see a giant weather snippet, which is we called instant answer, and this answer is just giving you all the information about the weather. And I'm pretty sure that the first results ranking website is just lost the 90% of traffic after that this thing has happened. And I believe that some of the questions, the people's intention of using Google will be get changed instead of just trying to extract a keyword to search. People will directly ask the question. But I believe that it will be through the Google Assistant or Siri. I'm not sure about how the other search results can get benefit from this. So that's why I think that it's just such a threat to the SEO, because not of automating SEO, because it will maybe change the way search engines works, and why we are doing search engine optimization to generate more traffic from Google and other search engines because they're sharing this traffic. But if they don't prefer to make this happen, so things will get changed. So I have also asked AI to do some specific uh, tasks that SEO professional can do every day. So let's start with keyword research, which is I think one of the most boring jobs in the whole SEO industry. I don't like to make keyword research, managing the crash of Excel when you work with hundreds of thousands data. But for the small companies, you can just do your keyword research like this. Uh, I went to AI and say that I have a pet shop specifically focused on dogs. Maybe we can say that golden retriever dogs. So, what kind of products should I sell in my store? I have started discussion with a more natural ways. So, and then it just shows me some products, and I just want to see them in a list format, and I say that list some of the products. So it just went through, and then saying that you can make grooming, you can sell food, treats, toys, and interesting services, health related products. I say that please add more service ideas, and then it tries to generate the new ideas that is not previously offered. And also sometimes the AI is just getting stuck for more time. In this case, I'm just asking, preparing the next question. So, yeah, it says that maybe you can offer training, daycare, wellness, and also nutrition consultancy, and even pet photography. I think that if you just get into pet shop owner, uh, which has a pet shop for 10 years, and I'm pretty sure that he or she couldn't think this idea because it's very interesting. So, and after done that, I say that can you please list some possible searches can be done by my target audience? List at least 10 keywords for only pet photography. So it's a very niche keyword, and searching through SEMrush, Ahrefs, or Whoop-like solutions, it's not very easy to find the keywords for such a specific niche like this. But thankfully, as a GPT is just thinking semantically related concepts. So as you can see in here, we can see the pet photo session, services near to you, poses, the background, which is amazing. I think that it is better than something that we can do with our own mind. So, but there are lots of missing things in here. I think that the search volumes, CPC data, and lots of things that we need to make decision is missing in here. But you see, it can be done as, it can be useful at using as a seed keywords maybe. So you can even ask, do the same for X, because it never forgets the previous context. So it's very helpful to make these things continuously, and lots of people are innovating a lot. Go to GitHub and search for ChatGPT. Lots of extensions are, and the new products are just creating on top of it. So the thing you need to know when you are writing prompt is that you just need to sometimes repeat your request, because the AI in some cases don't want to reply to your question. In this case, you can just use the try again button. It will just answer your question for second or third iteration, or just go and reset the thread and ask to translate the keywords shown below into Turkish maybe, and then just copy and paste those keywords into here, and finally it will help you to translate the keywords. And it's also translating better than DeepL and Google Translate for the things like keywords, because it is just trying to understand the context of those keywords, or the other ones like DeepL and Google Translate is just focusing on sentences. In some cases, it still have some problems. The Turkish attendees can see that, but most 90%, which is so cool. So we have we did 2 different keyword research for 2 different services, asked for many different service ideas, translated into keyword research into Turkish in just 3.5 minutes. I didn't fasten this video, and also it is just going through its natural pace. So, and also you get this data, but as I have mentioned, you just need to work on it. I'm saying that cluster those keywords into topics. So it's also Turkish keywords, and we couldn't expect any tool that can work at non-English data. So I'm challenging the AI, and I'm saying that cluster those keywords into topics so that I can map them into a related page with my website. And I'm saying that it's location specific, it is price specific, it's about the hours, it's about the activities, it's about the rules, which is great. So if you just get this data and use it, that will be perfect. But if you just need to map those topics into your website's URLs, for example, you can just send 10 URL and say that map those topics into my URLs, so that you can just create your keyword mapping file, which is crazy. So I'm saying that I have those pages, but I have just list one page in here, and I'm saying that which topics and keywords could be mapped into this page. And also it helps me to map them, but in a very strange way. I just need to see them in table, right? That's why I'm just saying that answer the same question again, but in CSV format, which is crazy. So, and then you will get the CSV formatted version of those answers. And also it forgets to add an enter in here. So yeah, I'm just reminding something like, don't forget to add new lines. Yeah, it is just like this. But I still need some data like search volume, CPC. Maybe I need to use the search tools for make things happen. But it's interesting to see that. I'm just trying my chance and saying that enrich data with some metrics I can use for SEO by adding new columns into CSV. As you can see, it's not helping you. And say that I'm language module, I can suit it, but just repeat your request and then you get the results, which is amazing. And as you can see in here, it's really tough to understand how it could be possible, because it's not a very easy keyword to just get the search volumes, and I'm pretty sure that it's not getting the volumes from any resources, but trying to estimate according to the information it has trained with whole the web corpus. So at last, I'm just trying to show more prompts, like maybe you are talking with your client as a consultant, and just copy and paste your conversation with your client and say that please continue this conversation as consultant or by just your name, because it understands that client is saying you hey Yid, and you are answering with its name, hey, with his name, hey James. And then it means that if I'm saying please continue conversation as Yid, it's just get the Yid site and writing an answer to James. So it's very interesting because yeah, the client is asking for a content plan. He said that what kind of content plan for blogs, newsletters, social media, and clients say that just make it for guides and white papers for my pet shop. And then it says that the newsletter, and I say that rewrite this thing without newsletter. James don't like this. And then it just rewrites the context for you. And you can still ask, add more ideas, and then copy and paste those sections into the report. Might be helpful to share with your client. And maybe you can say that it says in the number 2 an FAQ section might be useful. I say that, okay, just create FAQ for me. And it creates an FAQ list here. It's very interesting, to be honest, and I can't really understand how people are not using this actively to generate contents, because Google is treating people with banning them. But I don't believe that it could be understandable very soon, because the content quality is so high, no different than any people created content. And let's see, but I believe that it's not something that Google can catch. And then I said, okay, let's combine all those information in single email so that I can send to my client. So it's starting with, hi, James, I have those ideas, and then writing a conclusion and saying that my best. So it's so interesting, to be honest, because it will definitely change the consultancy world. It will definitely change all the white collar jobs, but I'm pretty sure that the companies, especially the large enterprises, might be a little bit slower to just pay attention to those kind of technologies. But I'm pretty sure that there will be some catalysator companies that will help us to understand the capacities. But as these APIs are evolving, I'm pretty sure the need of the people by count will be definitely lowered. But it is only my estimation. So the thing will be clear by the few months or years maybe. And then we can discuss more details. So yeah, I have shared most of my AI know-how, and I have gained this know-how by playing with OpenAI's Playground for many months, because I'm working, as I have said, of product manager of Whoop. So we are implementing lots of cool AI-driven products right now. And also our initial product, the Rank Tracker, is just launched today. Finally, after then 2 years of hustle, but the new version is just working great, but it's still in alpha stage. Please share your feedbacks with us. Please expect to see some mistakes, some errors, but we are fixing them very fast. Just come into Whoop. We have 3 months of free usage. and you can see a product video where I am explaining all the details about the how can you use the Whoop. So yeah, the product will be officially launched very soon. After then, we fix those bugs. But we just want to give away 3 months of free usage to anyone who signs up today by just clicking whoop.com and shares feedbacks with us via the intercom. You can just go on the left bottom help section and then share whatever you want with us. We are looking forward to hear your feedbacks. There are more than 22 people behind of this product working for more than 1 year, fully focused. And I just want to say thank you for our great engineers, designers, and the makers. So that's all about my end. And I have 3 minutes to answer your questions. So please just go ahead, Mehmet.
Thank you so much for the great presentation. Actually, as you know, this is a very hot topic right now in the industry. So your opinions and your experience is really very important to us. And
Thank you.
if you like, you can choose. Actually, we have many questions. So maybe you can choose 2 or 3 of them to answer, because I think we won't have time to answer all of it. So maybe it's better for you to choose some of them.
Let's make it a little bit fast. So, yeah. Oh, that's a nice question. So, can we use the content created by GPT commercially? You should definitely check the licenses or ask to ChatGPT, maybe. But I know that in the Midjourney, which is the competitor of DALL-E, which is an image generation API, you should definitely check Midjourney too. It has a Discord bot, and you should definitely use it. So I'm pretty sure that they have a ability to use it commercially if you buy the proper license. In Midjourney, it's nearly $100 or something. I'm not clear about this, but just check it out. But I think that the text generation, it doesn't have any licensing. So it's just generating on time on the GPU, so that we can just, no one can license this content, I think. But this is all about the lawyers, so I can't say very clear things about this because I love my life and don't want to go jail. So yes, this presentation will be available offline, Ramazan. Thank you for asking this question. You are such a great person. So the Burak asking that I think that Google has more structured and wider data set for many years. Do you think Google considering to taking a better step against GPT-3? Yeah, that's a great question. So I think that Google have to take an action. It has to bring a new feature, because if it couldn't make it happen, I will have an habit to use ChatGPT more and more. It means that the usage of Google will get lowered. So if Google want to combat with this increasing habit that might hurt nearly 80% of Google is just coming from ad revenues, is what I know, and most of them are just coming from search, is I think, and will hurt by those problems. So that's why Google needs to fix this, but this fix will not make SEOs happy, I think. So yeah, Mehmet, do we have any next session, or maybe we can just answer 2 or 3 more questions?
If you want to answer it, we have 15 minutes break until Aleida's session. There is still 15 minutes left. But
okay. I will not steal people's free time. I will just go a little bit faster. My buddy Matt is saying that thank you for creating the awareness. Yes, in Turkish SEO community, in terms of SEO, I wonder where we can go with OpenAI by creating AI-based content. Yeah, in AI-based content generation, people think that Google will penalize us. But okay, Google will penalize you, but how? How Google will identify those content? It's not very possible, because the outcome of content is directly editable by you. You will just get into ChatGPT and revise the content. You are fixing spelling, grammar mistakes, and it is not something detectable. And most of the masterminds of AI say that if the image generation is something that Google or any other AI engine can understand, the computer generated images or computer generated voices, because it has some patterns, but text is lean, so lean. In this case, it's not very possible to have an identification about this content. So that's why I think it's a little bit threat for all the content creators, or it's a great opportunity for them to create content faster and earning more money. But I think that the Chat GPT is just killing the ones like using the GPT-3 endpoint to generate content, but in a very basic manner. We are doing something totally different at Whoop, and we will launch very soon our content marketing module. So in next quarter, maybe. In this case, if the editors is not getting powerful, and if you are just taking the answers and inserting into the prompts and generating the content, it is something that people can do with ChatGPT. That's why they need to be creative. If not, I'm pretty sure that there will be huge loss at the big content generation companies right now, if you check their revenue. So Abraham Noah asked that if we just ask ChatGPT questions in English and maybe asking to write the content, should we translate by Google Translate? Actually, you can just ask Turkish and you will get Turkish responses. No need. That's why it's not a big deal. You should definitely take a look on it. So Sabatuna is asking that this is going to be a controversial question, but I'm really curious about your point of view. Thank you. Wouldn't this OpenAI create ethical dilemma because it can even write code? Hence, it may take over people's jobs. So, yeah, it's an ethical dilemma, and also all the opinions are just belongs to the people. But I'm thinking a little bit liberalist in here. It's creating a competition, and if OpenAI is not doing this, someone will definitely do this. And if there's any commercial benefit to any company, to any person, if you stop to do it, I'm pretty sure that someone will do with lesser ethical arguments. And also, I think that it's not a big ethical issue because it will make the progress of human a little bit faster, but I'm pretty sure that it will destroy some of the jobs. But we have to work hard, and the thing is coming. I'm very stressful. I'm a senior level marketer with more than 15 years of experiences, and I'm just trying to pivot my career to being a PM at the last 3 years. But even though I have that much experience and reputation in the industry, I'm really stressful about the future of myself. So, but if I understand the dynamics of ChatGPT, if I'm able to write the code by myself, by improving my technical skills, if I can just fix the bugs by using it, it means that I can definitely use this technology for my favor. But if I'm just closing everything about ChatGPT, not following the news, it means that natural selection. Yeah, cheers to Darwin. That's all, I think. Do we have any other question? I'm not sure, but I think let's break.
Actually, yeah, I think that's. I mean, we have some other questions, but I just classified the similar kind of questions, so I just eliminated them.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Actually, it was very interesting, and we have another session about AI in content, and I think it will be also very interesting as well from Ekaterina. And it was a great start about the hot topic from you, and thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't forget to try Whoop. We have a special campaign for 3 months of free usage. Bugs can happen. We use it with caution. And also, sorry about the presentation style. I prefer to make something better, but as we are launching the product at this night with a less sleep, I have just prepared this in 2 hours. So hope to do better things for the next years. And thank you for listening again.
Thank you so much.